What's up, everyone? Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a little reaction video. This video was recommended by Whoopsie. So for those that do know Whoopsie, you probably see Whoopsie tomorrow. This video is made by another YouTuber. It's another YouTube channel, and he goes to restaurants, and I think something to do with the ratings, and I think this has to do with some restaurants that are rated pretty bad. So let's get into this.
This is a 5-star restaurant, and this is a 1-star restaurant so bad that it had to get shut down. Now this got me thinking, how bad could the worst rated restaurants actually be? So the plan is simple. I'm going to be going to 3 of the worst rated restaurants with the goal of seeing if they're actually that bad or if we could officially promote them to good restaurants instead.
And by the way, there's a pretty important thing I should probably tell you.
One of my biggest fears is getting food poisoning, and back when I was a kid, there were a few times I got extremely sick from eating at restaurants, and one time I even needed to go to the hospital.
But today, all that changes.
Food poisoning sucks. I had food poisoning one time my whole life, and it was doing my internship. And I don't know what it was. It was either somebody didn't have their hands clean or something was not good. We served everything I thought was pretty fresh, but usually most of the food poisoning is usually cross-contamination. So ever since I had that one food poisoning, I've never had it because it was so bad that I always make sure that I make sure I wouldn't want nobody else to go through that. So, all right, just a little side note.
All right, so up first we're going to be eating at this breakfast place called Niblets, and it's easily going to be the most controversial out of any restaurant we eat at today.
And that's because despite having good reviews from customers, the health and safety unit recently gave it a conditional pass. And this was because they failed to maintain hand washing stations, failed to protect the food from contaminant, and a bunch more that is honestly concerning.
So what could possibly go wrong? Would I be able to get a wrap?
Why don't you get chicken wrap?
Okay, I'll do.
I give you one thing. Look, they got a conditional pass. Sometimes some of those violations sound a lot worse than what they are. I'm not trying to make an excuse. We passed in the 90s. We did very well. The only one thing that we got as far as food contamination was that we had a bottle of buttermilk that we forgot to throw away, but we were never going to use it. It was just from a menu and it expired. That was the only violation I think we had in our inspection. But when I read it, it sounded like it was a bunch. It sounded so much worse, and it was like I remember that it was just that, and it was just like, oh my god, that sounded so much worse than. It sounds so much worse when you read it because it doesn't tell you it's just a bottle of buttermilk that, we're not going to use. It was just expired because it doesn't give you all that information. It just sounds bad sometimes. So we'll see.
Do that.
You want mayonnaise or chipotle?
Let's do some mayo.
All the veggies?
Sure, we'll do lettuce and tomato. That works. It looks yummy. Thank you very much. Have a good day. I'm actually so excited to try this thing. After reading some of those reviews, I was pretty scared to go in there. Now at this point, I need to be honest with you guys and raise the stakes a little bit. Because not only am I gonna be eating the food, but my girlfriend is gonna be doing it as well.
Huh?
And the rules for this challenge are simple. Each of us has to finish the entire meal. Neither of us are allowed to throw up, and neither of us are allowed to get sick. And if one of us loses, then we're gonna...
That's kind of weird, huh? You can't throw up. You can't get sick. It's like, could you really control those things? I don't know.
have to do a naked mile.
Cheers. That's actually
Naked
really
mile.
good.
I'm actually really pleasantly surprised. Honestly, when we went in there, the food looked kind of washed, but it definitely does taste better than it looked in there.
But
Food on a steam table like that, it never really looks as good as it's gonna taste. It just doesn't. You always get a film. It's not something that. Yeah, it's not a nice looking thing. Let's just say that.
honestly, I don't think we could rate this as a bad restaurant anymore. And I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 because the food actually tastes really good, but there are the health and safety things. Now at this point,
So the restaurant, everything was good. The food was good. At least that's really what it was because it was takeout. But he still get a 3. A 3 is good for him. And it's one of those things like, technically, I think you're still focusing on not your experience and other people's experience, and you're giving the restaurant a 3. But again, and I'm not trying to make an excuse for his rating system. I'm just saying that's just how people rate restaurants. I mean, we've been lucky we have really good ratings, but this is a good example of how restaurants kind of sometimes suffer if you are trying to come back from bad reviews.
I should probably remind you guys that that was only the first restaurant, and from here it is only gonna get worse, and I've saved the most terrible one for last.
And trust me, once I show you guys the reviews for this place, you're gonna be just as concerned as I am.
So now that it's lunchtime, the next place that we're gonna be eating at is Wahlburgers, and it's crazy because this place is rated 2.1 out of 5 stars, and it's supposed to be famous.
Now, if you didn't already
2.1 out of 5 stars. That's bad. I mean, I would be very concerned going at a restaurant. I'm surprised it's still. I mean, it's the Wahlberg, so I guess they have capital to stay afloat. But 2.1, that is atrocious. There's got to be some truth to that rating. That's just, if you below a 3 and you basically just holding on to that 2-star rating, that's not good at all.
know, this place is owned by the Wahlberg family, which is a 10-season reality TV show based entirely around them. And if you still have no idea who they are, the most famous of them is Mark Wahlberg, which you've seen in movies like Ted, Transformers, Uncharted, and a bunch more.
And obviously, because this place is called Wahlburgers, we're gonna need to get a burger. But before we go in order, let's read some of the worst reviews.
Honestly, maybe one of the worst burgers I've ever had. Dry as cardboard. It's not that hard to make a decent burger. Complete fail. I don't know if it's the pickles or the sauce, but something tasted like gross vape juice flavored. It was weird. Bland patty, crumbly bun, stale fries for about $20, including a drink, tip, and tax. Run. Don't walk away from this place. So now let's see if it's really as bad as the
So this is in Canada. And one of the reviews is kind of one of those things, like, it's not that hard to make a burger. I agree to a point. I mean, it's not hard for me to make a burger, but I've had some pretty messed up burgers. And, yeah, I mean, I think our burgers in my restaurant are probably some of the best burgers, but that's besides the points. I'm just getting off topic. But, yeah, you can't just assume everybody can make a burger. That's your problem right there.
reviews say.
Hey there, guys. How are we doing?
Hi, good. Would we be able to get the Our Burger with fries? Thank you, I appreciate that.
Sure.
The fries were literally $4.50. Like seriously, look at that. All right, the fries for you, and now the burger for me. Honestly, burger looks pretty average, nothing too special to it. Cheers. Ugh.
Mine's a little bland.
It tastes like a worse version of McDonald's.
That tastes like a McDonald's.
That is the worst insult I've ever heard. The worst version of McDonald's. That is the worst insult for a burger. That is not good. That is not good. I don't know what the fuck they doing, but if you're getting that is bad. That is bad. I didn't think that he was actually gonna say it was bad because they seem pretty slow. So, interesting.
McDonald's patty.
I know.
Kind of tastes like cardboard.
And on top of that, the burger itself was like $10 or something. Like it's just.
Yeah, that's not good. So the burger is $10. I mean, we charge a lot more, but I'm you know, I hate to throw my place into the mix, but we have a half a pound burger that is like steak blend meat. It's just a great burger with bacon and double cut bacon. It's just, and you're talking about this is almost the same price as this McDonald's style burger. So, that kind of gives my place a little bit of props, but at the end of the day, this is really bad. This is really bad. You can't be comparing this style burger supposedly to McDonald's. Not even a McDonald's, the worst version of a McDonald's. Oh man, that's not good.
Not good. I'm actually thoroughly disappointed right now. It's literally just way too expensive for what it is. Like I could get 3 McDonald's meals for this price.
I give it a 1 out of 5.
I'm gonna have to agree with the reviews here, and I'm gonna give it a 1 out of 5 too. No wonder some of these things are going out of business.
Now, hopefully the Wahlberg family won't sue me for giving their restaurant such a bad review, but at this point, we were now done 2 out of the 3 worst restaurants in Toronto. And now it was time to make our way to the final restaurant called Wing Machine, and this one is supposed to be the worst out of all of them. And to make things even worse, the closest Wing Machine was located inside of a hospital.
So now remember earlier when I told you guys about how I got super sick when I was younger? Well, now I have to.
Maybe I should do some consulting for Mark Wahlberg, because that's not good. That's not very good at all. Well, Mark Wahlberg, if you are watching this or you hear about this, just let me know. You can contact me. You can email me at chefventing@gmail.com. I will definitely help you. That's not good at all.
to face my fear of food poisoning and hospitals at the same time.
But now this is where we ran into a little bit of a problem. Thanks to our good old friend COVID and the Ontario government, the hospital was essentially on lockdown. There was security out front, and in order to get into the hospital, you needed an appointment. And after trying every single way to get in, I ended up realizing that this wasn't gonna happen.
Now, even though we couldn't get into the wing machine at the hospital, luckily there's some more downtown, but the only problem is it's a little bit of a hike.
Are you kidding me?
And this wasn't just gonna be a normal easy hike, because the wing machine that was closest to us was located in one of the most dangerous parts of Toronto. Literally every day there are robberies, stabbings, and a bunch of other crimes that take place here. And on top of that, there is an insane amount of homeless people here.
Yeah, this area is actually kind of sketchy as fuck.
But eventually, after almost being robbed ourselves, we made it to wing machine.
So when I looked this place up,
Almost being robbed yourselves. You gotta explain. You can't just say something like that and then just keep on going. But whatever. Let's listen to the show. Let's listen to this. But that's kind of a little out there to say that.
it was
but
literally the worst rated restaurant in all of Toronto. And since this place is called Wing Machine, we're obviously gonna have to order wings, but I have no hope since it was only rated 1.5 stars.
In full transparency, the review
1.5 stars. All right, he's gonna go over the review. So let me wait until let me hear this.
were pretty brutal. I've been in the food business 42 years. What I received from the wing machine was pre-cooked, barely warmed up. I could not tell how long they've been sitting there, and they were so dry, they were so tasteless. Worst customer service ever. Never get food from here. It's absolutely horrible. Complete garbage. So now let's see if it's really as bad as these reviews say.
You know, sometimes the customer service is bad because they just get so I guess they get so much bad flack from the food not being good that people just complain so much that they're just not in a good mood. And that's not an excuse. That's why, again, luckily, usually the people that work in my restaurant, we try to do our best with our food, and we keep our, people that work with us, they're pretty happy with the food. They feel really confident that you got a good food, and you never really hear too many complaints about the food. So they really don't have to deal with that many complaints. So I can see how, if you are dealing with complaints over and over and over again that the food is so bad that the customer service might just had enough, and their customer service it's just gonna suffer. It's not gonna compliment. It's gonna compliment the shitty food, basically.
Hi. Do you guys just have takeout here? Thank you. We need wings. Would I be able to get the 8-piece boneless wings there? Let's do some honey garlic. Thank you. Have a good day.
Now, remember when I told you guys that this was the most dangerous part of Toronto? Well, as soon as we left the place, we realized that we probably shouldn't have been filming it in that area, and we were being followed. But eventually we ended up making it home without being robbed, so let's try these horrible wings. All right, so now that we've made it home safe, it is time for the grand finale. So far today, we have eaten a wrap that turned out to be pretty good. And we also had a burger from Wahlbergers, which turned out to be absolutely terrible. And out of all of them, Wing Machine was the worst rated, so let's see how bad these things are. All right, sniff test.
They don't smell that bad.
Honestly, they kind of look pretty good.
They don't smell that bad. That's not the best compliment, but let's go.
And up to this point, neither of us have gotten sick yet, so this is going to be the final test.
You're not going to get sick right away. For the most part, if you are food poisoned, it usually takes 24 hours. So nobody is going to get sick in this video. So let's say if this was bad, this is going to happen the next day. And I'm probably going to see it in another video. So we'll see.
Cheers. They're definitely not as bad as they were rated. They're kind of spicy. I got honey garlic. This is hot.
This is not honey garlic. They're definitely not the best wings I've ever tasted in my life.
They're pretty much equivalent to store-bought.
But like, would you go back?
Definitely not my first choice, but the people there were actually really nice. I don't know why people rated it so bad. And it's not even like they're dry. Like, they're actually kind of juicy too. So now one question remains.
Well, maybe they did some work on some of the problems they were having. They could have been a new chef. It could have been a new cook, whatever. It seems that if you have a 1.5 star, I'm saying this because I was expecting a different response. It also could have been different because maybe they came in with their cameras. Who knows? But honestly, it could have just been a bunch of different things that could have happened. Most likely, new staff, new cooks, new people in the back of the house. That they probably stopped doing some really bad habits. You know, that's all.
Would you upgrade this from 1 star?
I would give it a 2.5 to a 3.
Woo! Let's
That's not very good. That's not good at all.
go. I'd probably give it a 3 as well. It's definitely not the greatest, but it's definitely not as bad as the reviews said. And one last thing. Do you feel sick right now whatsoever?
No, I actually don't.
Woo! Let's go.
If you're gonna be doing food, you should know that, again, you don't get sick right away. You might get like sensitivity to a food right away, or even an allergic reaction, all that stuff. But you don't get food poisoning instantly. It usually takes about 24 hours. People, please get your shit together, because that's the problem. People get sick now, and they complain to the restaurant, but maybe most likely it was something that you had the day before, wherever you ate, maybe at your house or whatever, but you're blaming the restaurant that day. And I know, again, this is off topic, but this is the truth. I'm just throwing that out there so people are, because there's just really bad information about that. All right.
Go, I feel pretty good too. And now that means we've successfully completed every challenge in this video. We don't have to do the naked mile, and now make sure you guys subscribe to join the squad. And there's
Oh well. So I'm a little surprised that Whoopsie sent me that video. The guy seemed a little too much energetic for me, but overall not bad. Not a bad video. I'll try to see if I'll leave you the link to that video if you want to see the video. You probably saw it already here, but again, I'll leave you the link to the video in case you want to subscribe to his channel. But if you do, please subscribe to mine first. That would be nice. But again, that's all I had to do. Be safe. Peace.